Hey everybody, welcome to a Friday edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. I'm sitting here with several comedians in this brand new show we call The Box Seats. The comedians that you guys probably know are Talent, Fig, Rodney Perry. These guys have been in comedy films, comedy specials, comedy TV shows. They've hosted comedy shows on broadcast television. They've hosted comedy shows on regular television. They've done commercials. They've been in everything. And now they're joining me in something we call sports, which is a sports comedy talk show called The Box Seats. First of all, before I get the show started, just to let everybody know, Rodney Perry's joining us early today because we're going to have a guest who's going to jump in really early today also. But with that being said, gentlemen, how you doing?
I guess that's me. I'm good.
Yeah. Rodney, how you doing?
I'm great, man. Great day today, man. Got a good night's sleep. Did a live show last night with Talent, man. And Talent, you tickle me, dude.
Big, how you doing? Big, how you doing?
Hey man, I'm good, man. I'm in here like Eddie Kane Jr. sliding in at the last minute, but you know, I'm here.
Yeah, that's all that matters. We're here. Let's just jump off. Let's get the show started real fast before the guest comes in. The COVID report that I always do every day, you know, it's almost ridiculous now because now I trim it down because there's so many, you know, I could do a whole show of just many people who got things canceled. But the biggest thing is the Louisiana Coastal Carolina bowl game. It's called the Sun Belt game. It got canceled. And it got canceled along the Florida State Vanderbilt game, which we all know these bowl games are very, 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 very expensive. These games, if a college has to cancel these games, that's a loss of a lot of money. So that's a huge statement. Before I jump into the NFL game, I got to say, Clemson is getting ready to have a huge game this week because of course, there was a COVID situation with Clemson and Notre Dame. They're now playing round 2. The first game they played, Notre Dame beat Clemson without Trevor Lawrence because Trevor Lawrence had COVID. He couldn't play. But tomorrow he is playing in the game. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to I'm throw this out there with you, Talent. I'm going to say Trevor Lawrence is already #1 pick. I don't think he can do anything right now unless he goes out there and he absolutely throws like maybe 10 picks. I can't see him still not being the #1 pick in the draft. What do you think, Talent?
Yeah, I don't think they care about anything right now. I think right now he's solidified where he is. And he can't do nothing to mess that up. You know what I mean?
I don't think so. Well, Rodney, if he does hurt, I was about to say, Rodney, if he gets hurt, does that knock his stock down a little bit tomorrow? And does somebody else?
I mean, it depends on what type of injury it is, but if he get hurt, it can happen anytime you walk on the field. There's a risk of having a career-ending injury. So, I mean, we hope something like that don't happen, but it could.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, Fig, if he happens to have a Tua Tagovailoa, I can't even pronounce Tua's last name, but you know, if he happens to have an injury like Tua, you know how Tua was supposed to be up in at least 1, 2, or 3, you know, and Tua got a hip injury and then he fell all the way down to the Dolphins. Do you think the same thing, you know, God forbid that happens to him? Do you think it would still hurt his chance? Because he's supposed to be the best quarterback in the last, 5-7 years?
Man, let me just tell you this. As bad as the Jets are right now, they could amputate Trevor Lawrence's throwing arm, and they still are going to draft him. Okay. Listen, we talking about a team, Frank, that lost every game. We get one win in New York at the Jets.
Yeah,
we getting Trevor Lawrence by hook or crook. I don't care what he does.
I can't dispute that. I think they would get him too. I don't care what happens. I think they would get him. Let's talk about the game last night, man. You know, the NFL game, Thursday night football game. The Chargers ended up defeating the Raiders. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to throw this out there for you all. The Raiders, in the last 5 games, before that game last night, they were 1-5. They literally could, if the Jets had hold on to that, they could have been literally 0-6. But, you know, that's the Raiders. But the Chargers would beat them. Justin Herbert had a game. So, Talent, I guess my thing I want to ask you is, because it's been 2 years in a row that Oakland has been tanking the last 5 games, do you think they're going to keep John Gruden coming into next season, or what do you think the Oakland management is going to do?
Yeah, I think they're going to keep him. You got to realize, you know, the team is fresh. A lot of fresh things going on with the Raiders. You know what I mean? Location-wise and all that stuff. So I think that he's going to get at least another year to turn things around. You know what I mean? I think it's a little too much too soon.
Okay. All right. What you think, Rodney Perry?
I mean, you got to look at it, man. So you take over this team. The team you setting up for the team to be really great. Then you lose. You had a whole thing with Brown. You had a whole thing with you lost some key players, and then now you're reeling. I don't think they can get rid of him at this point because they invested time in him, and he got a deal that take him out like 5 or 6 seasons, and so I mean they still got to pay him. So, but I don't think he's going nowhere, not yet.
Yeah, I think I might agree with you. But Fig, I'll say this: 2 years in a row, 0-5, 0-5, 1-5. Could have been easily 0-6. Is John Gruden to blame?
Nah, man. I just, it was like they were revamping the whole organization. I compare them to Philly. Trust the process, baby. The Raiders look really good, man. I mean, who knew that their quarterback wasn't going to be? I mean, they lost their starting quarterback. What you going to do? You know what I mean? You ain't got to. If I would have known that the Raiders wasn't going to have their starting quarterback, I'd have picked the Chargers, but I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, look, you can take any team in the NFL, take away a starting quarterback, and they're not going to be that good. Just think about what the Kansas City Chiefs would be like without Patrick Mahomes. It's not the same team.
Somebody picked the Chargers last night.
I think it was me.
And me.
I think
I did too.
Now
you know what? I'm going to the tape. I ain't writing it down yet, but I'm going to the tape. Now all of a sudden, everybody picked the Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly.
No. But here's another thing about the Raiders, though, Frank. This is how you keep your job with the Raiders. Beat Kansas City at least once.
Well, let's say this. Let me just say this. The Raiders did beat Kansas City this year, and they beat the Saints this year. And then in the last couple of games, they happen to spiral out, and go in the wrong direction. All right, so let me ask you this, Talent. If Gruden ain't the problem, is Derek Carr the problem? And do they release Derek Carr after the season?
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, you could do that. I think, again, man, I don't really expect any team that makes a major move in year 1 or 2 to just act like that ain't something. You know what I mean? That's a big disruption of everything. We talk about rebuilding all the time. Something big like that, going from here to here with a whole team. Vegas, that's a big culture difference. You know what I mean? So that alone gives you a pass for at least a year. You know what I mean? And then you throw COVID in the mix. You throw all this scrambling in the mix. You get another pass.
Yeah. So Rodney Perry, same question.
What? I'm sorry. What was the question?
The question was, if Gruden's going to stay, do you get rid of Derek Carr?
You're not getting rid of nobody. Nobody leaves the Raiders. The Raiders is that type of organization. They used to losing. They got lifelong fans. Nobody is leaving. Derek Carr is still a great quarterback. And how about this? Who do you get? Who wants to come? You stuck.
Well, Marcus Mariota didn't do too bad last night, man. It could be all right with him. You know what I mean? But anyway, I guess I'll put the same question. Huh?
Are you serious?
He didn't do too bad. He kept him in the game. Fig, what you think?
I mean, listen, I'll put it to you this way. Your starting quarterback was on the sideline. How you gonna blame a man that wasn't even in the game? Like, you can't blame Derek Carr. And when they had that, I'll be honest with you. I think if Derek Carr was in the game and he was healthy, I think the Raiders win that game last night. You got your backup quarterback playing in the game, even though he was really good. They went to overtime. I mean, you gonna fire a dude because how you fire a dude on his day off? That only happens in the movies.
But speaking of course of quarterbacks, you know what I mean? There's a big news dropped this morning that Drew Brees is going to actually play this week over the New Orleans Saints against the Kansas City Chiefs. He has 11 fractures, 1 punctured limb, 1 punctured lung. I look at it like this. I don't know, Talent. I thought that was a horrible decision because he could be hurt a whole lot more.
White privilege.
Yeah, okay.
White privilege. Are you kidding me? Why?
Why is there white privilege? Why so? Why so?
Because if this was a black quarterback with these type of injuries, He's out for the season. They're not even letting him battle back in, and get back in that place. Whoever comes behind him, which were very decent guys, we watched them come in there and win some games without Drew Brees and the defense hold up and all that. You don't need to. Why? If I'm looking at it from a pro Brees standpoint, why risk him further getting injured? And B, if I'm looking at it from a team standpoint, overall, we did damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we ready to shake that up again? Why? This white privilege. This is this man's ego. Between him and the coach, this is these guys. This is ego playing right here.
Okay. I'll say this. I don't think it has nothing to do with white and black. I'm going to put out in the record. I think it has to do with the Saints being scared that they're going to slip down to number 2 because they don't want to go up to Green Bay and play. That's what I think it has a lot to do with. What you think, Rodney?
To me, it's no faith in your backups. You obviously have zero faith in Jameis Winston because you brought in the third string guy, right? So you don't believe in Jameis Winston at all, and then you don't believe in the third string guy because you put him in last week and he stunk it up. So now you got the guy who's gonna send Mr. Glass back out on the field. It's absurd to me.
Okay, I agree with that.
That man hurt for the rest of his career.
Fig, do you agree with talent or do you agree with Rodney Perry? What do you think?
I got my own take, man. They're going to reel Drew Brees out there in a wheelchair if they have to. Hey, come on, Drew. You're going to be all right. You're going to be all right, Drew. Listen, man, this dude, let me tell you what actually happened. Drew Brees got hit in the ribs and fractured his skull. And that's why he's making this asinine decision to go back on the football field at 40 years old. 40, and with those type of injuries, you punctured your lung, Drew. Your lung. You need this to breathe. And cracked all your ribs. I'm just saying. What did we say yesterday? He cracked 12 ribs. A few of them was his, and the other ones was on a few of his front line. That's what happened. And they gonna bring him back out to play. I'm like, yo, man, give Jameis Winston a shot. That's what I say. Because Jameis Winston, truth be told, he was lighting it up in Tampa Bay. I mean, he was throwing some interceptions, but he was lighting it up. Nobody said about Jameis Winston can't throw. You know what I mean? If you really want a shot, give Jameis Winston
But ain't he
chance.
black, Fig? Ain't Jameis Winston black?
Yes, sir. He is.
That's why that's why it makes it a ridiculous statement. So, anyway, you know what I'm going to do? This is what I'm going to do. I am getting ready to bring in an NFL guy who he can tell us his whole opinion. The guy I'm ready to bring in is Brian Robinson. He played for the Philadelphia Eagles, the Houston Texans, the New Orleans Saints. He got a Super Bowl against my favorite team. So right now I'm not liking him about that, but that's okay. Brian still got love for you as a player. Still got love for you. So anyway, Brian, first of all, thank you for joining the show, Brian. Appreciate you.
Yeah. No, I appreciate y'all having me on.
All right, Brian, I got to ask you the first question, man. I got to ask you, because you play for the Eagles, what should the Eagles do? If you're Eagles management and you're sitting down, we're talking about quarterbacks and stuff like that. If you're sitting down and you got a Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts situation, what would you do if you're management right now, looking at it, especially coming from you played with Carson Wentz. You know more than the average guy. What would you do?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've done a lot with Carson. I got a lot of love for him. He's a great player. Every player faces adversity in their career, and when it comes to the NFL, it's kind of a "what have you done for me lately" league. Everybody understands that, and that business side of the game that you have to face every day is really what makes you a professional. So. It does put management in a tough position. Obviously, when you spend this much time with these guys and you're day in, day out, you tend to develop personal relationships with them, and that can make business decisions much more difficult. But I just feel like Jalen's obviously showcased his talents and he's playing well right now. And when it comes down to the actual decision of what's best for the team, I really feel like you got to go with the hot hand. And
okay, all right, Rodney Perry, you got a question for him?
Hey, first of all, Brian, thanks for coming on the show, man. We're talking about the playoff picture out there, man, and it's so much going on in the league right now. What do you see going forward whether it be for your Eagles or who else do we talk about? Who else we talk about, Frank?
Saints.
The Saints, man. You play for the Saints as well. We got Drew Brees talking about playing after this crazy injury. Should he be back on the field this soon?
Brian, we can't hear you.
You muted. Oh, there we go.
Go ahead. Say it again, Brian. Go ahead.
You lost the sound.
Yeah, somebody must be calling him.
Your sound.
Yeah. No. I wonder what that is.
All right, go out and come back in.
Yeah. I'll bring him back. I'll bring him right back in. We were talking about, obviously, Drew Brees playing this week. I don't think anybody here is going to think that Drew Brees should play with fractured ribs and all other and a punctured lung, and I don't know.
I mean, he's a tough guy. You think is he that tough to go out there with those injuries?
I don't know. Let's ask Brian. Brian, we were talking about Drew Brees, and we were talking about should he play this week for the obviously for the Saints against the Chiefs. What do you think, man? We can hear you now, Brian. He muted himself. Okay, Brian, we can hear you. Brian, can you hear us? We can hear you.
You're breaking up. It's hard for me to hear. I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah. He must be having a hard time.
Yeah, it's breaking up on his end.
You know what I think? I think there you go.
There you go, Brian.
We can hear you.
What it is where he's at, you got to understand his wife, I think.
Brian, but he muted his thing off.
Yeah, but he can't hear us, that's why.
Now I can hear you guys. I don't know what was happening before.
Okay.
Somebody was cutting out.
Okay. We were asking you about Drew Brees playing this weekend. What you think?
Yeah, it's always controversial to play through injuries. Obviously it shows the competitive spirit of Drew. The leadership and everything that he has and holds with that team is obviously, unmatched. Obviously keeping his health in mind is obviously really important, but I understand as far as the competitor goes, why he would want to get out there and really make those plays like that. But Drew's a hell of a competitor. When I was playing with him, it was always him, trying to push everybody to be their best, do everything that they can. And, it doesn't surprise me at all that he's trying to play through the injuries.
Right. Talon, you got a question for Brian?
No, I really just want to thank Brian for whooping your team's ass in the Super Bowl. That made my whole day right there. Thank you personally, Brian.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Man, let me tell you something, man. We appreciate that too. Brian, listen, man, I'm going to go off the cuff here a little bit, ask you a question. When you win a Super Bowl, which we know is one of the most rarest kind of championships that you can get, what do you do with that Super Bowl ring, Brian? Like, do you wear it when you go to the club and be flashing it up when they say throw your hands in the air? Do you put it in a safe deposit box? Is it like in a glass case? I mean, what's happening? Do you wear it around the chain so the girls can see it when you hit, when you're out? What happens with the Super Bowl ring?
Yeah,
Brian?
man. I've noticed that it's a different kind of list. And I joke around with my boys because we show up and they're like, hey, whose name is on the list? And I said, it doesn't matter. We walk up and, give them a name. They say, oh sir, I apologize, but your name isn't on the list. And you just flash it at them and say, yo, you checking the wrong list. But we've had a couple jokes about it and stuff, but I really rocked it as much as possible the year that we were actually champions. And then it turns into kind of like a special occasion thing. You break it out when it really matters, when you got to kind of catch somebody's eye or you're trying to impress somebody in an interview or something like that.
Right. Brian,
Yes,
being that you play on the defensive side of the ball, I'm sure you're impressed every year. You look at when you watch games, look at what defense stands out to you, and you say, "Yeah, these boys are going to do it." What is your thoughts looking at now on how defense has been slack? That they got their arm, like you can't hit the quarterback, you can't do a lot of different things. It seems like every year it's getting worse. So, what are your thoughts now about the rules and the way the rules are being just so they're hindering the defensive side of the ball? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, rule changes and really trying to protect the player and the health of the player, really increasing the safety of the game for us to be able to play at the higher levels. Obviously athletes that are coming out of college now, they're bigger, stronger, faster. You know, the hits become a lot harder, and sometimes there's risks and dangers when it comes to the game that you usually sign waivers for. And as players and competitors, we go out there and we understand that we're putting our bodies on the line, and that's a part of the competitive nature. But I really don't, the physicality of the game is what I like. That's why I played defense. I was the one that was wanting to impose the pain rather than the one, kind of taking it by getting tackled and things of that nature. So, it is a detriment to that phase of the game. You see it a lot more in special teams with the way that they're changing the game on special teams, taking majority of the kick phase out. Those being the longest plays. A lot of times you see them where, it's top speed where players are hitting, whereas, offensive and defensive plays last 2-3 seconds. You don't really get those high top speed collisions like you do on special teams. So, as the game evolves, I expect to see that kind of stuff. And, obviously I just pray and hope that all the players stay safe and that they're able to compete at the highest level possible.
That's good. Rodney,
I just want to thank you once again for whooping Frank's team's ass in the Super Bowl. I was in Philadelphia that day.
I'm about to mute
in
him.
the Sugar House Casino downtown Philly. That was the only time I lost money in a casino and was still happy.
Oh man, it was great. I remember seeing the videos on online how crazy Philly was going, and I do have one thing to say about winning that game is the fact that if by some whim Jacksonville or like Tennessee had made it to the Super Bowl and we ended up beating them, they would have always, I feel, would have always kind of hung the hat like, oh, well, Brady had a bad game or something. You never played the best.
Right.
Whereas, through that dynasty, being able to beat that dynasty and come home with the trophy, it's something special. And it's definitely going to be something that you remember for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but Brian, tell the truth. When Brady had the ball and they were getting ready to go down the field before you all sacked him, you had your throat, your heart was in your throat, wasn't it? Tell the truth.
It has to be. When it comes to Brady, I mean, you have to see 00 on the clock in order for you to feel like you got the W. So
yeah, exactly.
It's and that's Brady. He's going to take it down to the 1 second mark and make sure that his team's in the best position. That's why it was so amazing to really be able to put our stamp over that dynasty and really be one of the losses that Brady has because he's got so few.
Yeah, and don't you?
Thank you very much, Brian.
I know you be in the defensive end. Don't you miss the days when you could decapitate a quarterback and take him out of the game? Imposing your will and really just having ill intentions is kind of like my game. Running through people's faces. Being comfortable with running into dark places. Just all sacrifice. Passion.
Yeah.
That was my gameplay. So it's it's unfortunate to see that kind of pillow talk that they're talking about. But.
Yeah,
Rodney,
Hey, Brian.
gladiators, baby.
Rodney, you got a question?
Hey, Brian, man, we had the GOAT conversation. Aaron Rodgers wants to be recognized as the GOAT. Who's the GOAT at your position? Who's the recognized GOAT at defensive end?
Oh man, when I was growing up, I had posters of Reggie White and Michael Strahan. Those were guys that I idolized. And then, as the 3-4 defense came around and that hybrid position came around, I really feel like, watching Lawrence Taylor do his thing, and then, that 3-4 defense come around with DeMarcus Ware, and watching him really develop as a player. Those those were the guys that I really remember watching and spending a lot of time studying their game and just really being impressed with some of the things that they can do. Similar body types, just those were the guys. And then obviously, like, being able to play with some of the guys that I remember watching, like Trent Cole, when I was able to play with him, that was kind of a surreal feeling because, I remember watching him be a monster at DN for so long in Philadelphia. And, that's what I say.
Okay. Hey, Brian, man, we can't thank you enough for coming on the show, man. Your insight is invaluable to us. We love you on Box Seat. You got the best hair ever in the yo. Is there any opportunity for you to get into acting, man? 6 feet 4 inches tall. Aquaman is out there. They talking about Aquaman got a brother. Could that be you?
I've actually shown my interest in it. So it's not anything that I'm willing to throw all my eggs into one basket for, but I got friends in low places, and we'll see if I can make something happen.
Hey, good stuff. Hey, man, do you have any charity, anything you want to shout out, and how can people find you on social media?
You can find me on social media at Brian Brayman. That's the IG handle. I appreciate it. I'm not really working with a foundation or a charity right now. I do a lot of work in the community, and it's been my focus to really start focusing on the hometown. So I'm in the process of building the foundation. But I appreciate your time. I appreciate the love and everything. Bring me on the show. Let me kick it for a little bit.
My man, you got open door anytime, B.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Brian. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Rodney, you must have felt good about that when you started talking New York slang. Anytime, B. Anytime, B.
Word up, B. Word up.
That was Brian Brownman from Philadelphia Eagles, Houston Texans, New Orleans Saints defensive end, won the Super Bowl with the Eagles. And overall, he was a hell of a player. He did. I remember him doing a couple of tackles during the Super Bowl game. That's how I remember him. He did a game.
Really? Who did he play in the Super Bowl that year?
Frank, you should remember everything about that day.
I do. That's why I said I remember that game.
You still can't sleep. Can't sleep.
Talent, I'm just letting you know, you are one more result away from getting muted.
Hey, wait, what? Talent say, hey man, I want to thank you one more time.
Yeah, I was like, Talent's about to be muted on my end. Like I'm about to go, okay, boop. I'm about to show Talent who's the talent on this side of the book.
I'm gonna still be right here doing this.
Go ahead, Frank. Where we at?
All right, so let's give it. We got to get the show continuing on, man. I want to talk about in the NBA. We all know there were some games up last night, but the big news to me, you know how I do it. The big news to me was something that was like an underlying news, and then here was the news: the Los Angeles Clippers are under investigation because of the way they handled getting the Kawhi Leonard over to be the Clippers. Now, right now, Johnny Wilk is suing the Clippers and especially Jerry West. Because he said he was supposed to get $2.5 million from the Clippers. He said he helped sign Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard's uncle was supposed to get a house, which he did. He was supposed to get a car, which he did. And a couple other homes for a couple of other people in Kawhi Leonard's camp. Everybody else got paid. So the issue is Johnny Wilkes didn't get paid. Now, I'm going to throw this out to you, Talent. I'm going to say this on the record. This happens everywhere with everybody. This ain't no exclusive thing. Why Jerry West decided, I ain't going to pay this dude and leave him out to bring this thing is beyond me. Now, everybody knows, if you know anything with anybody affiliated with the NBA, we all know it's I'm going to look out for you. It's a homeboy type of working out network. Everybody knows that. Am I lying? I mean, you know.
No, you're right. When I read this story, I'm going to tell you what I took away from it. You see, here's the problem. When you have an executive at the CEO level, cut these kind of backdoor deals with, say, regular Pookie from the block. Pookie from the block don't have the resolve nor the patience of the protocol that it may take for you to get $2.5 million. Right. This ain't $20. It ain't go in my pocket, peel it off. This $2.5. So that means it's going to take longer and it's more intricate the way I got to give it to you so I don't get busted. Mm-hmm. And apparently how long it's taken, it's not good for Pookie. So Pookie comes right out and just blows this story out the water like, oh, I'm suing him for 2.5. But here's the thing. You're not going to get the 2.5 by suing him. All you did was expose the situation. Now, they may get in trouble. They may get fined. The deal may get null and voided. All that may happen. But you know what they don't have to do still? Is give you 2.5.
Actually, what it really did was it blew his chances for getting that 2.5 because now he definitely ain't getting it. Like he could have threatened him for at least another 6 months to a year. Rodney Perry, what you thoughts on this?
This is the thing, man. We know the Clippers are failures. Okay. And now that they failed, they trying to mitigate the damage. Pay the man. You promised him to pay. Who we thought he was gonna be good, but he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Pay him. You owe the man the money, man. He got you the guy. So what? The guy faded. Supposed to be the best player in the NFL. Faded. Oh, but you can't fade nobody when your Clippers don't work.
Craig, what you think?
Yeah, man. First off, Kawhi's been playing for the Clippers. This is going on the second season. His kid still ain't got his money. He would never gonna get it. So blow the whistle. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, they caught us. We caught. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna pay me. Oh, I'm telling on everybody. The uncle got the money. Kawhi got paid. Paul George then came in. He got some money. All I'm asking for is $2.5 million. I can go about my business. I ain't asking for much. Give me a little. That ain't even the taxes on the money that Kawhi Leonard got to pay on his money. Not even the taxes. He ain't get no house. He ain't get no car. He ain't get nothing. He said, I just asked for a little $2.5 million. You know, my finder's fee. You not gonna pay him? That's ridiculous. He's supposed to blow the whistle. He's supposed to tell on everybody. I'm telling on Kawhi.
Talon, you agree with Vic that he should tell everybody? You agree with that?
No, I'm never going to agree with, no matter how bad things get, I'm never going to agree with the snitching aspect of it. Like, I'm one of those dudes, because it's 2.5 and I know how the legal system works, I know that snitching on you gets me nothing. I'm going to keep beating that door down until I get, I would rather compromise down to a cool 1 million if I got to. I'm getting something.
Right. And that's what I think. He's saying that. He's getting nothing now. So Rodney, what you think? You think what Fig said he should snitch, or you think what Talon said he should say nothing? Where you at?
We don't snitch, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We don't snitch, but it's okay to tell.
Yeah. I can't even disagree with that.
Hey, listen, we don't know that he didn't get money for leaking this story. If he would have went to TMZ, Harvey would have paid him a bunch of money for leaking the story. You know, you get paid for leaking the story. He may not got his 2.5 million, but he got something out the deal.
Okay. I will say this for the record. I think that I agree with what Talon said in one sense. He didn't know how the system works, so him trying to do what he's trying to do and doing, trying to hey, bro, you need to relax, calm down. You could have got 100,000 now, 100,000 a couple more months, and 100,000 equal up into 2.5 million. You could have stretched it out, and that's probably how they would have, paid you. But threatening them and telling, I'm gonna tell everybody, that's definitely not the way to handle it. That's definitely not the way.
That's a suburb move.
Yeah, bingo. Now, since we talk about the NBA, the Lakers they froze everything on Kyle Kuzma. I don't know if they're not happy with Kyle Kuzma. I don't know if they're not happy with the way the talks have been going. I don't know if they're looking at what's going on with the Lakers, because again, all this type of movement and stuff happens behind the scenes with everybody. But the Lakers have now tabled all the extension talks with Kyle Kuzma. So my question to you, Talon, is why do you think they did that? Do you think they're saying, you know what, we're gonna trade this dude? Or we're gonna let him just play out his contract and see how much he's gonna be worth in it when he becomes a free agent? Because why? Because he might not be valued as high. What do you think? What Kyle Kuzma, the Lakers, thinking of?
I think 50-50 on that one, Frank. I think the writing on the wall says let him play out the contract, or we might just get rid of him. It's a 50-50 crapshoot, bro. I mean, if I had to put money on it, I would say they're gonna trade him.
Right. I think they might pay for the contracts out too. But Rodney, do you think they're gonna wait till he plays out his contract because they might think the value of him might not be as high as he's thinking in his head? Because
I would absolutely wait. Ain't no doubt in my mind. I will wait him out all day. Kuzma, I like Kuzma. He's a good guy, but he's kind of a goofball on the court. His shorts is tight. The guy is he's probably your 8th priority. You know what I mean? Like you gotta worry about LeBron, you gotta worry about AD. It's so many people ahead of him that you be like, man, Kuz, chill out. You give me a great season and you can eat. But you can't go eat right now. Sorry.
Now, on the flip side of that, Fig, this is the flip side. The flip side of that is he could play out of his mind, right? And then because the Lakers didn't lock him in now, they could be really upset that they didn't do it now because it's a huge gamble. So if your management, you're sitting down there and you walk into be Lakers management right now, what do you do with Kyle Kuzma's situation? You let him ride out, or you say, you know what, I'm gonna just play it. I'm gonna play it.
Well, put it to you this way: the guys that are playing well are your veterans. They're your older guys. They're going to be leaving in a few years, 2 to 3 years at best. They're going to be leaving. Kyle Kuzma is still a young guy, and he's coming along. If you say what's his value to the team, Kyle Kuzma arguably was right up there, man. He's about 3rd or 4th man on the totem pole. You know what I mean? As far as that championship was concerned. I mean, Kyle Kuzma, he balled out. And the other guys that balled out with him, you got rid of them, like the Danny Green, the Rondos, they gone. You got LeBron James that may have another 2 to 3 years left. You know, he got 2 years on his contract. He may play another 3 years. What you going to do about your future? Who going to play with Anthony Davis when LeBron decides that he wants to retire? All these old guys you bringing in are not going to be there. So do you want a young stud, or do you want to just have a bunch of old guys, and when LeBron leaves, they all retire, and now you got a bunch of bunch of bench players as your starters?
I hear what you're saying, but I'm not sure if you answered the question. So I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So I guess
I'm saying that Kyle Kuzma is valuable, and he's coming along. He balled out last year. I heard them talking that he was doing well this year. So I think they ought to take care of him and hold him. And like, if not, let him go. I don't know why you hold on to a player if you don't like him. Let him go. Let him go get his money somewhere else.
But it's not that you don't like him, Fig. You like him, but he just haven't given you enough. It's too many people ahead of him in the pecking order of paying. And so you go to Kuzma and say, Kuz, you light-skinned, you good looking, but look, dog,
you ain't on max contract.
I need you to give me another year better than the year from last year.
Yeah, and you're not a max contract player. You know what I mean? He's trying to get a max out contract. He's not a max out contract player. The Lakers,
he's not there yet.
If you ask me, the Lakers are playing this out absolutely perfectly because they got some heavyweight on their books right now, and him trying to force them to get a max contract adding on when they already got they got LeBron, they already got a couple. Like you sit there and say, Kuz, you can't come in here with me with that BS right now.
You just added that, right?
Added what?
The max contract.
No, I didn't
just added that.
No, what I'm saying is, I just added that word. But what I'm saying is, I said to you both, everybody, I said, as we go along, do you play out the contract or do you wait it out? When he waits it out, he's going to try to get a max contract. You know what I mean?
Listen, there's plenty of contracts in the NBA, and everybody, that wants to get paid, they don't always be shooting for a max deal. You didn't say that. That's a big difference. You say, yo, Kyle Kuzma wanted a max deal. That changes my opinion totally. I'm like, no, you're not a max player. Okay, you said he wanted to get paid. There's a difference between a rookie contract and getting some money.
Let me say this for the record. All NBA players try to max out their contract. I'm not sure if you got that memo.
Big got a tattoo of Shannon Sharp on his upper shoulder blade.
But they're working harder to sign Kentavious than they are with Kuzma. And so again, I think Fig makes a great point. If you're talking about max deals, the max deal is relative to you at a position, and he's still.
Rodney, everybody tries to get a max contract. Everybody does.
Kevin Durant, LeBron James, AD, Giannis.
Kuzma ain't gonna touch no $100 million.
Steph Curry, the MVPs. there's some other players that get more money than their rookie contract. You know what I mean? They get a multi-year
All right,
deal.
let me explain.
That's not max money.
Let me explain something. When I say max contract, when NBA says max contract, this is what it is. You max out for what your talent has been on paper and what you are for.
Right.
That's what max contract means. It don't mean that you max contract because you're the best in the game. That's not what it means.
Frank. I totally understand. This why I named, but this why I named none of my dogs Max. This is the point.
There you go. I thought I had to explain it for what max contract actually means. It don't mean that you're going to be the best, highest paid in the league. It means you're going to max out that's what it all means for everybody. But anyway, let's continue on this conversation. Now, we all know how LaMelo Ball came in, right? LaMelo Ball came in with this big, hoorah and everything else. I'm going to throw this out to you, Talent, and say he might actually be living up to expectations because so far, Game 3 last night, he had 18 points, 5 assists against the Orlando Magic. He's balling out, and in the city where they at and everything else right now, I'll say this. Charlotte, people are saying right now he could literally be the MVP of the team. You know what I mean? They're really happy with
here's the thing. Sometimes I don't doubt that. But sometimes I think fish is all relative to what pond you drop the fish in. Because when you come to the league with the hype, if you go to a team like, LA Lakers,
Miami.
Golden State, Miami now, you go to these teams that have these big reputations, they expect way more than if I dump you on the Grizzlies, Utah. You know what I mean? Like, and Mike's team in Charlotte. Where I put you means a lot of how I judge you. So I always thought he was going to be that 18, 20, and 6, 7. You know what I mean? He's a decent guard. He's going to do very well out there on that team, especially.
Yeah, Rodney, with that ugly shot he got, I got to say, I was one of the people who I didn't think he was going to do too well in the NBA. I thought he was going to come in, maybe have a year or two and leave. But hey, I'm one of the guys who's wrong on that one, so maybe I'm wrong. He looked like he literally could be one of the NBA future stars. What's your thought on LaMelo Ball right now?
Well, for the record, you're wrong a lot.
No, man.
I'm joking, Frankie. Yo, all jokes aside, they say LaMelo Ball is the best ball.
Yeah.
Out of all the balls, LaMelo Ball. No, I'm not pausing. LaMelo Ball is the best ball.
The best ball.
Ball is the best. Like, say, for instance, me, Rodney Perry, I have 6 children. My best ball is on the left. LaMelo Ball is the best ball. Everybody's been saying that, and he's proven it. Well done, LaMelo.
You pause.
No, I'm not pausing. They say the man is the best ball. Only ball better than LaMelo Ball is his father's ball.
Hey, what do you think?
I think that Rodney. I think that Rodney Perry is crazy.
I think Rodney signed to the Baller brand, the big ball.
Ball life.
Oh man, that's hilarious. I think this kid is gonna be the best of the brothers. You know what I mean?
He's gonna be the best ball.
Yeah,
he's the best ball. Just say it, Big. Say it.
He's gonna be the best ball. And here's the thing. When you think about it, there's a lot of balls in the NBA. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of balls out there.
And he's the best ball. He is the best ball. Of all the balls, he's the best one.
All right,
and he's light skinned too. That's got to be a plus.
Before we get to the top dogs, I can get this last question in. Steph Curry came out last night. He balled out. He had 29 points against the Sacramento Kings. Here's the biggest thing, though, is the Golden State Warriors looked amazing last night. The way they moved the ball and everything else out there. People were thinking that
What did they move?
Say that again.
What did they move?
What do you mean? What they move the ball? You mean to move the ball? The way they moved the ball, they looked really good. They played great ball last night. Tell them, do you think they're going to be in top 4 coming out the West now? Because if they get that chemistry again, I'm not going to say that they're going to win the NBA championship, but I don't think they're going to be as low in the playoff pecking order as people are starting to assume. We're assuming, when Clay went down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what the order people thinking they're going to be, but yeah, they're going to be in their top four. The top half of the playoff contenders. You can count Golden State back in there. I said that. I said, don't let preseason, the game before this one here, they didn't look so great. The game was tight. They was getting their ass kicked the first 2-3 quarters. Everybody's like, oh, I don't know about Golden State. It's preseason. Once they get them legs on them, you know what I mean? And everybody get the flowing, get that what we call in the film business continuity.
Uh-oh. Word of the day. Okay. I see you. Roddy, what you think?
I agree.
I agree with me. All right, what you think? What you think, Roddy? You think the Golden State Warriors are going to be in the top 4 in the pecking order when come time to the playoff order? Because the way they
are they the top 4 in the West? First of all, let's look at it. You got the Lakers, the Clippers, Houston,
Denver,
Dallas,
maybe Dallas. Do they pass Denver? The question: do they pass Denver and Dallas?
Yeah,
and that might be a yes. That might be a yes, but we don't know till we know. It's tough. I say yes. Quick answer, yes.
Well, Fig, I would throw that question to you, but you know what? It's time for the top dogs. I want you to get the top dogs in. So since we got to get ready to get the top dogs in, if we finish, we can circle back. But what you think right now, Fig, is about the top dogs? Who you think is the top 5 of the top dogs? I got to see who this is.
Man, let me tell y'all something. I got a bonus this week. I tried to narrow it down to 5, but we got a bonus dog this week because there was a lot of dogs in the NFL. And if you want to hear about the dogs, let me hear you, ball. Guys, the dogs is coming. Who let the dogs out? Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 on my list is kind of ironic that we use this kid. He played with the Rams, and his name is Cam Akers going against the Patriots against Cam Newton. Cam Akers balled out 29 rushes for 171 yards running all over the field in a rout of Bill Belichick's defense. They beat him down 24-3. I got to give to Cam Akers going against Bill Belichick. I know you don't like it, it's your team, but I got to get him, man. He was running 171 yards. Cam Akers, kind of ironic that his name was Cam. Number 2, he put a hurting on that team, and his name is Jalen Hurts. When the Eagles beat down the Saints, this kid threw 24-21, beating down the Saints for 167 yards passing and 106 yards rushing for a grand total of 273 yards. Jalen Hurts was a dog when he put a hurting on the Saints, baby.
Yeah.
Number 3 on my list, will you remember the Titans when it's all over, baby? Will you remember the Titans? Derrick Henry rushed for 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, crushing the Jaguars 31-10. Man, I'm trying to tell you, that's a bad boy there, that Derrick Henry. Number 4 on my list, I got to give it to my man, Josh Allen. Did the damn thing with a shocker when they beat down the Pittsburgh Steelers, baby. 238 yards, 2 touchdowns. And he turned back Big Ben to Fat Ben, Fatburger Roethlisberger. Yes, he did. Josh Allen did the damn thing. Number 5 on my list, I got to give it to that bad man, Aaron Rodgers himself and the Green Bay Packers in a head-to-head over the Detroit Lions. You know, that thing right there, boy. He did his thing, winning 31-24, 290 yards passing, and 3 touchdowns. Oh, my God. Give it to my man, Aaron Rodgers, baby. Do his thing. Now, my honorable mention, ladies and gentlemen, It was an old-fashioned shootout between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. Literally went down to the wire, 47-42. I got to give it to my man Lamar Jackson, putting the Baltimore Ravens on his shoulders, all while taking a bathroom break. He had to do the walk. If anybody knows the do the walk, he took a do the walk, and he was out 2 series in the bathroom. He had the bubble guts, and then he came right back on the field, smelling like doodle. They gave him the helmet. That's why nobody wanted to tackle him, because he was smelling funky. And he threw that last touchdown pass, man. Lamar Jackson carried his team to victory, 163 yards rushing, 1 TD, 163 yards passing, 124 yards rushing.
Wow.
He had a grand total of 3 touchdowns. I had to give it to Lamar Jackson. I had to add him in the top dogs. So we went from 5 to 6 this week, and that's the top dogs of the week. Let me hear your ball.
You know what? I want to ask y'all a serious question. I'm gonna start with you, Talent. Do you think Lamar Jackson really had to go to the bathroom? Because I think that I really
seriously. No, let me tell you something. I thought Fig was being funny, and then they started showing the footage inside the arena when he got inside, and the way he was running to the bathroom. That was a shit run. Then when he got close to the door, somebody was coming out the door flung open, and he did that get out the way joint.
Yeah.
He did that. That's doodoo.
Yeah, that's so too.
If you just had credit, you'd have been like, all right, let him by. But when he went, get your ass out the way. I got this. Woo! Is that the door?
Rodney, you think that too? You think he had to go to the bathroom?
Absolutely, he was going to the bathroom. Yeah. This is the thing, man. The closer you get to the toilet, your body begins to relax. And just looking at the physiology of the whole thing, I mean, as I watched the tape, we slowed it down. We looked at it, you can see the chill bumps. He had chill bumps on his arm. And the man was in I want to say fecal arrest. And he was trying to get there. And like Colin said, the young man got in his way, and he almost took some feces to the face. So I'm glad we didn't have to see that.
Yes, he did. You know what happens when you got a doodle, man? You clench up your butt cheeks and you do that little scoot walk. And when he was coming down, he had that little scoot walk.
Right.
And when he got to the door, he's like, get out. He's like, I got to go.
And how about this? And you got to get out of them pants. You got to get the pants off. Them pants is very tight. You got to get them off. You got pads. It's a lot. You got that little buckle. That buckle hard to get off when you're under pressure.
Yes, sir.
And I'll tell you one thing. You better be lucky you ain't got that home uniform on that's all white.
Right? You're in trouble. All right, last question of the day, and we got to keep this really quick because we're supposed to be done right about now. But the season's really kicking off a lot tonight. So I'm gonna ask you, start with you, Talent, keep it short, Roddy short, a Fig short. Is James Harden going to be member of the Houston Rockets when the season starts? What you think? Talent.
Yes.
Rodney. Fig.
When the season starts, yes.
Okay. All right. That's the show for today, y'all. I want to make sure I got that question in. Talent, everybody out there, how they can follow you?
You can't say nothing. That was the shortest answer. Follow me. It's just comedy on Twitter. IG Talent the Comedian. NY King Talent on Facebook. Your boy.
Are you being somewhere this weekend? Any of y'all being with somewhere this weekend?
Yeah, I'm gonna be. I got a show at Arogos in I think it's Somerset, New Jersey. 3 shows, 3 sets out there. Go on the Arogos. It's spelled the way it sounds. AROGOS. Get your tickets, man. 3 sets. Talent headlining, man. Let's do it.
All right, Rodney.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop in. I'm doing a set Saturday at the Atlanta Comedy Theater. From what I understand, Mike Epps has had some issue in his family. He won't be able to make it. So I'm the resident guy that comes in there and fills in, hired gun. So I'm gonna go in there and do 2 shows Saturday night at the Atlanta Comedy Theater right here in Atlanta.
That sounds dope. Fig.
I'm gonna be performing in my bedroom tonight and see if I can make my wife giggle. I'm gonna do one show because that's all I got. That's all I got. All I got. You said all I got is one show. And the word for the day, ladies and gentlemen, because we didn't say that, is fecal arrest. So fecal arrest is it.
The word.
Woo, so many jokes came up there just now. I'm gonna let that one slide. I'm gonna let that slide.
Let's not forget, LaMelo Ball is the best ball.
Is it true?
All right. Well,
And
we'll
the
see
balls have it.
We'll see about that. This is the show called The Box Seats. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate y'all. We're on every Monday through Friday from 1 to 2. The show is on the channel called The Humor Mill. You can download the app on everything. You can even call your cable service provider. Next week, to add the channel, next week we got a couple of course, guests that we're trying to work that stuff out right now. We're gonna try to figure it out and all that. And then some. You'll see the advertisement. You'll see all the flyers. You'll see all that on our social media this weekend. Until then, I'm Frank. That's Talent. That's Roddy. That's Fig. We'll see y'all Monday. Is of course the Box Seats on the Humor Mill. Y'all have a good weekend. See ya.